interview. I believe this will capture everything that this topic is all about. So I had an experience last year, October precisely. I changed my employer. I moved from NHS to private, and that really exposed me to a lot of things. And after resuming work in the private sector, I discovered that there are many things that hinder people from getting their desired job here in the UK. And I'll be sharing a few of those things with us in this presentation. So first things first, of course, before you talk about relocating, you need to have your international passport. Because some people ask questions. I've had the privilege of discussing with a few people who they don't have international passports, and they really want to leave Nigeria or different, countries they have. So you get your international passports ready, and then the English examination is very important. So we have IELTS or OET. A lot of people do IELTS because it's much cheaper compared to OET. OET is very expensive. I think right now it's around going to 300,000 naira. The IELTS is, I think the last time I checked, it's 9,000. Okay, so for IELTS, we have reading skill, speaking, listening, and writing. And I've put the required score in this. So reading, you are expected to have 7. That's the present qualification for the nurse in the UK. So 7 in reading, 7 in speaking, 7 in writing, and then minimum of 6.5 in your writing skill. And then OET exam. Now, OET, people that do it, I think it's easier to pass, okay? And it's more expensive compared to IELTS. IELTS, I've seen people that have written it for quite some time, and yet they've not met the required score. And so since that's not the base of our presentation today, but I would just advise that when you are preparing for exams like this, I tell people I did IELTS 2 times. I passed the second time. So what I can share with you about IELTS is that, just study well for the exam and make do with the questions. So you do a lot of practice, continue practicing, and make sure before you, register and go for the exam, sorry, please. Make sure you score, you score above 30. Make sure you score above 30. In fact, get to 32, 35, consistently. Then you are ready for the exam. Okay, so, and that will really help and go a long way. Then you move to the NMC UK registration. You have to open an account, create an account with the NMC UK so that they will put your name in their register. So that is very important. I still help somebody to, I guided someone through that process yesterday. So and all the things, of course, you need money to do all these things. So you pay some money to the NMC UK account, and you will do your NMC verification. If you are in Nigeria, you do NMC, and that's Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. Okay, so in different parts of the country, you have NMC. Okay, so you do your verification where they will verify that you are actually registered. Of course, we have a lot of quacks that also want to take advantage of the privileges opened up in the UK. So just want to verify that you are registered with your country's registration body. Okay, so you go through all that process. It takes a while actually. So it's better to start early enough so that it won't delay, because it is at this stage that a lot of people get delayed. It's not okay. International passports too, it's getting delayed now because of the rush. In different parts of the world, people are just leaving the countries because of the situation of things. Okay, so there's a lot of queue in getting international passports. IELTS, there's no issue with that. Once you are ready and you have your money, go right to IELTS. And NMC registration takes a long time. The UK, the parts that the UK will do is not, they don't waste time for the UK responsibility in doing their own, in fulfilling their own aspects. But our country, especially Nigeria, I know of Nigeria very well, they can delay you for some time. There was a time that some people had to use, have to be paying money to hasten the process and to fast track. Okay, so you have to start early. That's my advice. Then you get your NMC UK registration will get to a point where you'll be given the access and you'll be permitted to go and write your CBT. That's the computer-based test. Okay, so they will give you the authorization to go and write the CBT. That's it, the person view. Now, when you are registering for CBT, and I want you to pay close attention to this, when you want to write your CBT, you've got adult nursing, mental health nursing, pediatrics, and midwifery. These are the basic areas you can write your CBT on. So, like I said initially, I moved to a private sector, and I discovered that opportunities were open in that hospital. They were employing international nurses. So I asked them what exactly they wanted so that I can inform some of my friends in Nigeria who have been searching for a job in the UK. So they needed certain specialties. So I got about 10 people. I got about 10 people for that particular job. But some of them got, they were disqualified because, for instance, they needed people in pediatrics, in pediatric ICU. They needed people in oncology. They needed people in hematology, and then theater. So there were people that they've been working in the pediatric unit, and so I sent their CV. But they now asked for their CBT, that which area did they write CBT? Unfortunately, most of them wrote their CBT in adult nursing, not in pediatrics. So they were disqualified for that job. So that's why you need to know what you want before choosing the area of CBT you write. Okay, so adult nursing covers a lot, emergency department, hematology, ICU is also under adult nursing. Other specialties outside mental health, pediatrics, and midwifery, you can find them under the adult nursing. Okay, so you need to know what you want. And presently, a lot of people are doing mental health. I have a friend whose wife will write CBT in mental health. She's not a mental health nurse. It does not matter. Just as long as you read for the exam, you pass it. That is all they need. You don't have to go to psychiatry school to study psychiatry before you write CBT mental health. As long as you are a nurse, you have your nursing certificate, RN, registered nurse. That's the basic thing they need. You can write any of these CBT exam: adult nursing, mental health, pediatrics, or midwifery. So just get necessary materials, prepare for the exam, and pass, and then you are okay with that. Okay, so we'll still move on. So these are the major things you need to get ready, and then we move on to other things. Now I want to talk about CV. I have a lot of experience in this CV recently because of the employment opportunity that was open, and I've had a course to guide people through it. You see, many people are not able to get a job in the UK because of their CV. And this is very important. When I asked some people to send me their CV to go through it, I saw a lot of things there that made me to understand why a lot of people will not, get a feedback from the hospital they apply to. Your CV must be clear. If you cannot do it by yourself, you can give it to people to help you, construct a good CV. Your CV should not be clumsy. It should be clear. It should be clean. Your statement. So I want to emphasize on your personal statement and supporting information. These are the things that your employer, the people that want to employ you, these are the things they will look at. There are a lot of CVs, there are a lot of entries coming to their table every blessed day. So there's no time checking they just go straight to this area. Okay, after you have put in your personal information, your name, your age, and all that, your email address, your phone number, and other things, the next thing they come to is this. This is what they use to know if you fit the position they are looking for. This is what they look at to see that, okay, does this person really have what we need? Okay, because they can be very selective. They don't want to waste their resources. They don't want to waste their time and energy. Okay, so they go straight to this area. So your personal statement on your CV allows you the opportunity to shine and sell yourself to your employer. So this is a statement about yourself. They don't know you. You don't know them anywhere. This is what is representing you. So it is whatever you tell them here, they believe about you. So you need to sell yourself to them. Let them read your personal statement and let them be interested in you. Let them be happy. Let them be excited to work with you, even without knowing you in person. You need to develop and construct a very beautiful personal statement. I will share my personal statement with you shortly, the one I used in Nigeria before coming here. Then I will ask you to judge if you were my employer and you read through my personal statement, would you fall in love with me? Okay, this is very important. Talk about your strength. Talk about your achievements, your career aspirations, your values, which should align with the employers. So whatever you are saying, ensure that this is what your employer needs. So if they want somebody in maybe ICU, I work in the ICU, I'm an ICU nurse, and you are talking off points, you are not working in the ICU and you are saying other things, of course, you are not needed for that employment. Okay, so you need to look out for what the employer needs, the fake vacancy. You don't need to tell lies about it. Okay, if you don't have what it takes, you don't need to apply. Okay, you don't need to apply. If you don't meet their criteria, you don't need to apply. You don't need to, just because people do all sorts of things. And they get here, you see a lot of things happening. They've sent some people back when they discover that there are a lot of inconsistencies in what they submitted in their documents, in their CVs. Okay, so don't do that. Apply for what you think they are looking for. You have the requirement, and then apply, and then give them a very wonderful personal statement. Now, your personal statement should not be too clumsy. I have seen this again and again. There was one lady that sent her CV to me. I had to tell her, I said, now in Nigeria, we have some challenges in Nigeria. You will work in a particular unit, especially those who work in private hospital. In the private hospital, you will nurse oncology patients. In the same place, you will have cardiology, patient with cardiological condition. You will have patient with, different units in one particular hospital. And when they say we need oncology, it will be very difficult. In fact, one of my British friends here that works in the HR, he told me that this is one of the issues they have with people especially from Nigeria. So in your CV, you will now write oncology, hematology. You write all the specialties put together. And then they are confused that, no, we don't need all this. We need just one. We need somebody that works in this particular one. Okay, so this will help you. So I told the lady, I said, okay, I know you have experience in all these areas, but please, it is oncology. Just put oncology in this one. At least you work with oncology patients. Most of your patients, they are oncology patients. So for this particular employment, please put oncology on your CV so that you don't get them confused. And then, when they see that you are not, your CV is clumsy and they don't no clarity, they will just put it aside. They don't have time to rack their brain over your statements. Then ensure, now for nursing, of course, I'm talking to nurses here. Ensure that your personal statement captures the 6 C's of nursing practice. I'm not saying that you should write your personal statement and say, I am caring, I am courageous. No. Just make sure it captures all these 6 C's, and that's care, courage, compassion, communication, commitment, and competence. Every employer that's employing nurses will always watch out for all these 6 things in your personal statements, because that's all what nursing is all about. You have to care. That caring attitude must be there, and you will tell them, you have to put it in a statement that you really care. Then your courage, your compassion, communication, commitment to work, and your competence. Okay, so that is all for personal statements. Then supporting information. So this is where you put all your professional qualifications, educational qualifications. You can do it in any format you like, but please let it be that. Now, also when your CV, before submitting CVs to employer, give it to people to proofread. Okay, I think I will come to that later. So don't let me jump ahead of myself. So your professional and educational qualifications, starting from the most recent. Okay, so the present place you are working, employers are more interested in your present place you're working. So if they need oncology, people in the oncology department, you have to be working in that oncology. At the point you are submitting, you are applying for that job, you need to be working there. And that's why they will tell you, when they want to progress with your employment, they will tell you that you need to stay in that unit that you are working. Don't leave that place until they finish the processing, because your experience in that area is very instrumental to them. It's very important to them. Okay. And then work experience. So you give your work experience, they go through it, and when they are satisfied that, okay, this person meets what we need, and then they can employ you. Then you also put in your voluntary services. And that's why voluntary services are very important, because as you do voluntary services, you garner a lot of skills that may be necessary and useful in that place of work. Then you also put in your articles, your books, your research. Now, this helped me because I published a book, a book in my profession, The Nurse, the Mass, and the Medication. It's a book on drug dosage calculation. Okay, so I put that in my CV also. In fact, in the interview, when they interviewed me, they talked about it, and I shared with them. I talked to them about it, and they were very happy. So you put it there, your achievements, put it there, as long as it relates to that employment, because a book on dosage calculation is a very good fit for a person working in the ICU. I told them that I have ICU, drug calculation in the ICU is in that book. So and they loved it. Then you also state positions held and NMC number, PIN number, and expiry. Okay, that's for you can. So you put this too, if you've got that. All right. So look at this personal statement. This is my personal statement. Okay. So look at this. A compassionate nurse and an award winner from the prestigious School of Nursing, University College Hospital, Nigeria, the largest tertiary institution in the country with over 1,000 hospital beds. I have had over 10 years experience in active clinical nursing practice, and the last 7 years I've been dedicated to the care of critically ill patients in the ICU. The ICU environment with over 12 beds has helped me to harness my critical thinking skills, as well as time management, communication, and organizational skills. I found the experience of nursing critically ill patients very satisfying, as I have improved, as I help improve their recovery through specialized skills. I'm an effective team player and I work well under pressure. I'm also keen on leadership and education. I have authored a book titled The Nurse, the Mass and Medication, a handbook on this and that. Help a lot of nurses. I'm committed to continuous growth and development in critical care nursing. Now, this is a personal statement for employers looking for ICU nurse. Okay, so I don't know if I can get a response. What do you see to this personal statement as I read through it now? Can I get a response from someone? Are you still with me? I hope I'm not alone here.
We can actually type our comments in the chat box.
Yeah, okay then. We need to. So let me just quickly.
Captivating.
Okay, good. Yeah. So now that's the point. That's the point I'm just trying to make. That any reasonable employer, when they go through this thing, it was okay. This person actually fits into it, because I told you that your personal statement should capture the 6 C's, and you can see the 6 skills here. You can see care here. You can see my courage here. Okay. You can see compassion here. You can see commitment in this statement. Even though I didn't write it, I may not write it out that I am committed, but I put it, I frame it in a statement that will make them see me that, okay, this person is actually committed to what he's doing. Okay, so this is very important. You can seek help in this area, get the help of people to help you, to guide you in this area. Okay, so I'll be giving you CV tips very quickly. So try to use action words. So this brings your CV to life. Examples include you use the word identified, initiated, established, organized, launched, implemented, successful, improved, and all that. So it makes your CV, looks very captivating. Then explain gaps in employment. Explain gaps in employment, raising a family, maybe you went traveling, you went on study leave, cared for a relative, so you state it in your CV if there's any gap in your employment. Very important. Even though a lot of people will not do that, but it's important. Try to use numbers to create an impact. Okay, so if you look at my statement now, you can see that I used numbers. You see, over 1,000 hospital beds, over 12 beds in the ICU. So try to use numbers to quantify your impact. Okay. Then, okay. Don't exceed 2 pages. So don't bring a lengthy 4 pages CV. No, that's too. Now that may apply for other profession, but as far as I know, for nursing, your CV shouldn't be too bulky. Okay, just keep it short. Just keep it very brief. Keep it simple. Avoid using different font styles. Of course, don't use different font styles. Inclusion of contact details of referees optional. Okay, you don't necessarily need to put your referees there. So at the end of your CV, you could add references available if on request. Okay, so don't forget to use spell checks. Like Grammarly is a very good one to check your vocabularies, your spellings, your spelling errors. You don't want your employer to, start struggling with your grammar and say, okay, is it what you want to write or is it what you mean? So make sure you use spell checks and avoid any grammatical errors, spelling errors. and ask at least 2 people to proofread your CV for errors. Please ask at least 2 people to proofread your CV for errors, and ask for constructive feedback, including whether it's easy to read and if it makes an impact. It's very important that we go through this process, because it's not enough to say you are not getting a job, you are not getting a job. You need to put things in place and put yourself on that standpoint where you will be suitable for that particular employment. Okay, so job hunting tips. Know what you want, because there are many jobs you can do in UK as a nurse. If you want to work with the NHS, I worked with the NHS for I think a year and I left because I don't like the setting. Okay, I have a lot of friends there, but I just had to leave. So know what you want. When you come to the UK, it's a very flexible environment. You can change job. Nobody can force you into doing what you don't like. If you don't like the NHS, you can go to the care home. If you are working in the care home and you don't like it, you can move to private. You can do anything you like with your life. Okay, it's a good place to be in that regard. So know what you want. Make sure you make inquiries about all these things. If you have friends here, ask them, how's NHS job? What does it entail? What does it require? Ask questions from people before making that your choice. Then care home. A lot of people go into care home because they pay more, actually. Care homes pay more than NHS and they pay more than some privates. Okay, so, but you need to have a perfect understanding of what care home is, because it can be very stressful, and a lot of things there. And there are some benefits you may not get. So NHS has a lot of benefits, off duty, sick leave, sick off, all those things. They will still be paying you. You will have your money. If you work in care home and you are getting sick too often, man, you are on your own. Okay, so the same with private healthcare. Private healthcare is not, both private healthcare and care home, they are not as generous as NHS. NHS is very generous. It's government owned. So you need to know what you want. Look specifically for jobs from employers that sponsor. So this is important. So you need to look out for employers that will sponsor you, and that will help you manage, the cost. It will help you a lot. Then useful website to search for jobs include all this. So I know many of you will know this, but peradventure you don't. So we have Track Jobs, Nuvo Jobs, Indeed, CV Library, LinkedIn, Total Jobs, etc. So, and some of these sites, some of these websites, they have there's a way you can subscribe for alerts. They will give you job alerts on your email. They will just email you if there's any job available, because they will take all your details and then they will send you jobs that are in your area and your specialty, or that has a similitude of what you want. They will send it to you from time to time. I remember when I wanted to change job from NHS to private, I used Indeed. It was Indeed I use, and they sent it till now. Even I want to unsubscribe them, but they are still sending me a lot of jobs, and which is very okay. It's very good. Then join social media platforms, Facebook and Telegram, created by nurses that want to japa, I want to migrate to the UK. So there, you have a group of people that you have common goal. The aim is to move to the UK. So they share opportunities on those platforms too, and then you can make do with those opportunities. So don't do it in isolation. You need to network. Then network with friends and families that are residents in the UK. This is very important. Now, the job when the job I got in the UK, it was the first CV I submitted. Was the last CV I submitted. Okay, so I didn't have to be sending several CVs to get job when I came. I came here 2021, not too long ago. Okay, I came here July 2021. So, and how did I get the job? I finished after I passed my IELTS. I just contacted one of my, she's a school daughter. She was a school daughter, but she had been in the UK for quite some time. So I told her, sister, I've passed IELTS. What's next? Yeah, okay. That she saw one job, one vacancy that they needed specifically ICU nurses. As they sent it to me, she sent it to me. I sent my CV to that email, and that is it. That was the employer that brought me to the UK. Okay, so network with people. Network with people. People are advised me, okay, use track job and other things, and I was already planning to do that when this opportunity came. Just because I, network, I connected with a friend in the UK, and so opportunities are everywhere. You need to make yourself available for opportunities to meet you. Then this really works, as some employers don't advertise vacancies on public space. So, and this is very true. In my present place of work, they are employing, but you cannot find it anywhere that they need people. So they always send email to us, just internal random internal information that they need people. Okay, so they believe that as you work with them, you know their values, you know what they want, so you are in a better position to get them the right people. Okay, so you need to connect with people. Ask questions. Don't just ask money. When you people in the UK, don't just ask for money. Ask questions that are relevant to your own processing. Ask them questions about employment. Ask them how they can be of help. Is there any vacancy? I'm a nurse. I need work. Let them know, so that when opportunities come, they will, your name will come to their mind immediately, and then you can be informed. Don't be too desperate to relocate. You need to calm down and be patient. Okay, don't be too desperate. You need to calm down, be patient, so that you don't fall into the hands of scammers. A lot of people, I hear people saying they pay for certificate of sponsorship. Some people pay. I watched a video clip of recent where a man was at the train station here in London, and then he tried contact. They gave him a number. He got to London, tried to contact the number. The person did not pick, and then he was just stranded. Okay, so be very careful. Be very careful. Don't be too desperate. You need to ask questions. You need to verify information. You need to get all that done. Yeah. Then preparing for interview. I need you to pay attention to this. So that is when because the interview is a major thing. One thing I've learned about the people here is that you need to create a good impression. You need to create a good impression to them. Okay, so you need your interview, you have to prepare very well for your interview. Now that, okay, you have wanted for a job, they've got across to you, and then they say, okay, we want to conduct interview. You need to be serious with it. Okay, revise your CBT materials. Now, with my own experience and the experience of friends around, most of the interview questions are actually your CBT questions. That's the truth. I tell people, if you are preparing for interview as a nurse, you want to move to the UK interview, go and revise your CBT questions. So they ask those questions theoretically, so they will ask you practical questions. Okay, and there are different questions they will ask you. Most times they will just paint a live scenario and just want to know how you will handle it. One of the questions I was asked, they say, okay, if you administer a wrong medication to a patient, and then you realize at the end of after administering it, what will you do? Okay, so these are practical questions. So they just want to test maybe you understand your duty of candor to your patient. Maybe you will hide the information from the patient, or you will tell the patient what has happened. Okay, and all these things are captured in the CBT. When you are studying for CBT, you will read the professional duty of candor. You will read a lot of things there. So they want to test your knowledge on those things. Okay. And then they may paint another scenario and just want to know maybe you are good at time management, or you can work well under pressure. So gather your TBT materials, read them again and again, so that when they ask you practical question, you can know how to extract that theoretical knowledge and apply it to that particular question. Do a thorough research on the organization. This is key. So you already know the hospital, the employer, your hospital. Go online, you will see all their information there. Read about their vision, their values, their vision and mission statements. Read about everything. So that this will help you so every question they are asking, you will just say it in the light of that values you have read about. This is important. So in the hospital where I work now, the patient first. So in your answer, just make sure you put patient first in all your answers. What will you do in this situation is the patient first. They know that you are speaking in line with the values, with the vision and the mission statement of that organization. So do your search, know when it was established, know if they have branches, different things. So just browse and get basic information about it. You don't need to read 10 pages just key things. Okay. Then search for relevant interview questions. You can also go online, search for relevant interview questions. Or if you know people that work there, you can ask them, so what are the questions you think they can ask? I've had calls to organize a little interview session for some people preparing for interview. So I will just ask them some questions and just to make them prepare and get them ready for the real interview. Get good network. Please get good network. Get good network. I'm emphasizing on this because the environment we stay in can really affect us. My interview, I will never forget. Network is not my issue. It was the power supply issue. Okay, so it was serious. And at the end of the interview, I had just 2% left on my phone. 2%. I was praying. I was just praying that this interview should end now, so that at least I will know what is happening. So exactly, very, very, it was immediately we finished the session, I left my phone on the table, went inside, I came back, the phone went off. I just thank God. Okay, so please get good network, good lighting, good power supply, charge your phone, charge your laptop, charge everything to the fullest. Okay, get good lighting, dress well, look good. Okay, let them see you and then they know that, okay, this is one is serious for an interview. Please smile. Learn to smile. Don't be too serious when you are in an interview. You need to smile. When you are responding, you smile. They want to, they are assessing your level of confidence. Okay. If you are jittery, if you are afraid, it will show. If you are tense, it will show on your face, even the way you answer question. Okay, so you need to smile. There will be tension. That's fine. It's normal for you can be under tension, but you can just smile to ease your tension. Okay, be confident in your looks and in your speech. Be confident. If they say something and you can't hear well, tell them to say it again. Okay, don't be ashamed of telling them the truth, and then be well comported and speak audibly. Let them understand what you are saying. Maintain eye contact with your interviewer. Then prepare to ask them at least one question at the end of the interview. This is very important. At the end of every interview, they will ask you, do you have anything you want to ask us? Don't say no. say no. Prepare at least one question. And I advise people, some of the questions you can ask them about, well, my own time, I just asked that, okay, in the ICU I work there, we do, the nurse to patient ratio is usually 1 nurse to 3 patients, sometimes 1 nurse to 2 patients. In fact, sometimes 1 nurse to 4 patients in the ICU. So I asked them, how is their own structure? So they told me, okay, if it is level 3 patient, it's 1-to-1, but level 2 can have 2 patients. And so they know from your question, they already see the passion that you are really longing to work with them. You can also ask them about their plan for career progression. That, okay, if I start working with you, what are the plans? What are the structures you have for my career progression? They know that this one is serious-minded. Okay, but if you say no question, no, please, I advise people just try to ask, questions at the end of interview. It may be 1 or 2, not many questions. 1 question is fine. If you have 2, you can ask questions. Okay, I think I've been able to capture everything I have prepared here, and I think you have been able to get a few things from here. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Wonderful presentation. Even though somebody might not be a nurse, once you hear that, you probably want to be a nurse immediately because you want to care for people, That was really awesome. Really awesome. Some people are even throwing you love, clapping for you, showing you the heart sign, which is good. That was good. The information was apt. It was beautiful. So well done. Professionally executed.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Wonderful. So this is a time to ask questions if you have any. There is no wrong question. There is no how can you ask that question? No, please. What you do not know until you know. All right. So this is the time to ask questions. Please just drop it in the chat box. There is no wrong answer. There's no wrong question, foolish question. No. Please, we don't do that here. I'd like you to please feel free, to ask whatever questions you want to ask, And whilst he was talking, he talked about CV. And if you don't know how to have CV, we do that in Balosega a lot. Well, we started out by taking care of doctors, and not just doctors, medical workers. So if you need any help, write us an email. I've put the email there. Tell us you need it if you need help, and we'll be more than happy to assist you and guide you with the whole process and everything. So back to this. If you don't have any question, yes, it does. But if you do, please feel free to just drop your question in the chat box. Whilst we're expecting that, I'd like to bring on board my business partner and also one of the founding director of Balosega, the person of Shea Balogun, who we, like I said, started this company together almost 3 years ago, to say a few things before we go to the question. So over to you, Shea.
Hello, Bobby. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for introducing me. My name is Oluseye Balogun. I'm a consultant anesthetist in the UK, and myself and Bobby started this company. And we started as a PLAB accommodation company, but now we've really expanded to non-PLAB, including nurses and other professionals. We have about 13 houses in the UK, in Manchester, where we take care of doctors, nurses, other professionals for different reasons. In fact, we've had a lot of nurses who come with their families, and because they cannot quickly get houses, they stay with us for about 1 to 3 months, and then we write them a letter to the next landlord, because the requirement to get a family house It's quite cumbersome. So we write a letter to them to say, we have been the landlord in the last 3 months. They never hold. They've fantastic family, no social problem. And then they then get a house. So we take away the stressful period. Whilst they're with us, they can go view different houses. It's not like they are desperate to get the very first. If they don't like it, they come back to our house and they say, oh, we're going to spend another 2 weeks. We're still looking for something else. We say, that's fine. So we do that. We want more nurses to come on board with us on this journey. We don't want it dominated by doctors because we have a lot of things for nurses, from CV review to how to get jobs, where this kind of collaborations will also come up again, where a lot of things that you can benefit from will come up. Like the presenter said, every time I hear nurses saying to me, oh, somebody is going to get me a job, they are asking for money. I say, they shouldn't ask you for money. If they are asking you for money, they are scammers. So I wouldn't say much more. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that everybody's having a fantastic time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Straight to the point. Appreciate that. So we have a few questions for you, David. The first is from Adeyemi Esther. Says a wonderful presentation, sir. Can you write CBT for more than one specialty, like take separate exams for adult nursing and midwifery? Give your answer to that, please.
Yeah, okay, thank you for that that question. Yeah, actually I've not seen anyone do that, but I think you can, because it's as long as you can pay for it, you will have to pay for it separately to get it done. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but I think you can. There's really nothing stopping you from doing it, because for the Pearson VUE, you will, they will just give you the authorization. Then you go to generate your, your code, your PIN, and all that. So you can do it separately, but you have to pay separately too to get it done. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Next question is from Bisola Comfort. First of all, she thanked you and she says, not all jobs requires you to upload or send your CV. Take, for instance, track.jobs. What are the things we need to do to anticipate a positive response from an employer? Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, the things you need to do, because track jobs, they don't ask you to send your CV, but the information they ask, they actually most of the information on your CV. Okay, so you can incorporate all the things we have said about CV into when you are, putting in the information they require. So just put in the relevant information and put all the things we have discussed here, into play, and then you can anticipate a good response from them. Awesome. Thank you very much again. Back to Adeyemi Esther. Says, I didn't get the part of the IELTS, sir. You were mentioning something about score of 30 above. Can you quickly answer that before we go on?
Okay. Yeah, what I'm saying is that, in the skills, different skills that we have, you have the overall mark is 40. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that when you are doing your practice, try to score above 30 in the skills. So when you score above 30 or you are getting to 35, you know that, okay, between 30 and 35, out of 40, you are ready and you are set for this examination. So that's what I meant by that.
Okay, thank you. And still on Adeyemi Esther, what is accommodation like, sir? I really don't understand that question in terms of, are you okay, if you don't mind me doing this, Adeyemi Esther, can you unmute your mic? And I'm sorry to do this, so that we'll be sure of your question. I don't answer it wrongly. What do you mean by the accommodation like? Is it staying in the UK or bringing your family? We need to be clear so that we'll David will be able to answer your question correctly. If you don't mind, please. Yeah. Is Adeyemi Esther still here? Okay, not still on mute. Okay, I don't know. Well, it goes on to say, and also there is a number limit to your dependent family over there. Also, sir, when your family comes to join you, who caters for their visa and tickets? To the best of my knowledge, you are the one that will cater for that anyway. But over to you, David. You can give an answer to these questions whilst we await Adeyemi Esther.
Okay. Yeah, about dependence. Yeah, I can answer that because, of course, I came here first. So after 4 months, my family came to join me. Yeah. So even if you have 10 children, they can come. They can come. You'll be responsible for that. Okay. So when you come here, you work, gather some money, and then process their visas. You do all that yourself, not your employer. Your employer is only responsible for you and you alone. Then you can sort out your family and bring them in.
Good. Also, okay, so Adeyemi Esther says, I will resend my question. So just to give that clarity, while we're waiting for Adeyemi Esther, Alereliti says, well, thank you very much first. My question is, some website says they don't do sponsorships. So in that case, what should someone do? Very good question.
Yeah, if they don't do sponsorship, then it means they don't do it. Okay, and if you are looking for sponsorship and they tell you they are not doing sponsorship, that's not the right place to apply to. Okay, get employers that will sponsor you, for that job that you need. Okay, so that's my suggestion for that. And then some people can also take a different route. That may cost you more. But if you don't mind, if you have the financial ability and other things, I know of people, a friend told me recently that what most people do now is that, if you have your money, you can do all this processing, fly to the UK, come and write your OSCE. Okay, that's by yourself, sponsor yourself. When you do your OSCE in the UK and you pass, you can get employment, because there are a lot of, in the UK now, there are a lot of jobs that will require that, okay, you have your PIN and other things. So once you pass your OSCE, it's easier to get a job. That just means that you'll be solely responsible for all that. And they are willing to give you COS. Because even when I moved, it was really surprising that when I moved from NHS to private, I had to be given another certificate of sponsorship by the new employer, okay? So when you come here, you pass your OSCE, you get a job. You can easily get a job when you have passed your OSCE. Then you can easily get a job through that means. Okay, so but if you are looking for sponsorship, just look for employers that will sponsor you for that.
Awesome, thank you very much. So Adeyemi Esther has replied and says, I mean, when coming to work abroad, does your place of work provide accommodation? It makes more sense now. Okay. So you answer that, and I will also say something after that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So what they do most of the time is that they give you accommodation for 2 months. Some employers are generous. They can give you, for at least the private sector I work with now, they give international nurses 3 months accommodation for 3 months. And that is very fine. So after 3 months, you sort yourself out after that 3 months. So if it is 2 months, it depends on what you agree on the contract of employment. After the 2 months or 3 months, then you find your way and sort out your accommodation.
Awesome. So yeah, in line with accommodation, like my partner said earlier, we also provide. Yeah, we provide when not companies, hospital comes to meet us. So like that one they're providing, they provide. They meet house providers like us as well. Okay. We also provide, well, for those who don't have the hospitals to provide for them. Some of them say, look, my family is coming, I don't know where to stay. and they work in Manchester or somewhere in around Manchester. Some even work outside Manchester, but like the best place they can get a place, since they've been referred to us, is Manchester, and we still provide for them. So that's for now. We're in Manchester. To spread in other places, we will. Some people have come to ask us, I got a job in London. Do you have? I said very soon we will have, because they are praying for us to have. So that means we'll have very soon. The final question from Adeyemi says, and what does sponsorship really entail and cover? You want to answer that as well, David?
Okay. Yeah, sponsorship entails your visa. They pay for your visa, pay for your flights, pay for now just the basic things you need to come over to the UK. So visa, your flight tickets, what else? Then when you come, they will also give you some stipends, to hold till you are paid your salary. Okay, so and then certificates of sponsorship. I think that's what Esther is trying to ask. Now, for certificate of sponsorship, that is what makes your stay in the UK valid, that you are here for work, and then your employer is responsible for your stay in the UK because you are working. So that certificate of sponsorship is what guarantees that. So if your certificate of sponsorship is withdrawn, it means that if you don't secure another certificate of sponsorship, you will be on your way out of the UK. Okay, especially when you just arrive and you don't have, your ILR yet and stuff like that. Okay, so that is it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Whilst we're waiting for other questions, which are coming in soon, I'll say a few things and I invite Victoria to say one or two things about a particular item. In Balosega, we do regular programs. So we don't just do accommodation or take care of accommodation, all right? We still do the accommodation in different spheres, like Shaya said. So monthly, we do what we call an education series. We started last year, February, so over a year. And we do, like quarterly themes and stuff like that. We've done, well, for the doctors especially, how to ace your interview, how to get NHS jobs, etc., etc. Every month, this month, we're going to have questions and answer where people come in to ask all manner of questions. Doctors, medical workers, health workers, how to get jobs, how to do this, how to do that. And it's free of charge. It's via this system. So if you want to be part of it, we'll encourage you to. No knowledge is lost. Every information is important. Information makes the world go around. Very, very important. Now, next month, May, because we're already in the new month. Anyway, happy new month to everybody. So next month, it should be the last. We usually have it the last Sunday of the month. Next month, we're going to have the first ever medical legal talk, where we're going to invite a GMC lawyer to talk about the issues that doctors, health workers have with, practices and all those things. So it's not limited to doctors alone. It's like it's cut across all professions. Once you are an immigrant or migrant, whichever grant you fall into, it's very important to, be on board to this. Well, Balosega, we have a YouTube channel. So if you subscribe, you will have loads of information, like Shaya has posted. Follow us on IG, follow us on our social media network, social media platforms. You will have lots and lots of information. So it's a one-stop shop. It's not just accommodation. Accommodation is good, but we don't stop there. So we will do that as well. And yeah, I would like to invite Victoria to okay, she has quickly posted, so you'll get access to the recording on our YouTube channel. So the recording of this presentation will be on our YouTube channel very soon, maybe 48 hours at the most. We'll try and we normally do that. So before I go back to question, I would like to invite Victoria, my lovely wife, to say one or two things about audit. She will explain what that means so that we'll have an understanding. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Nice to meet everybody on the call. Just a few things. So we've talked about preparing for interviews and lots of job opportunities in the UK. But there are a few things that you can do or you can learn that can put yourself ahead of some of your other medical colleagues in the UK. And one of those things is knowing how to do an audit. So a clinical audit is a tool by which clinicians are able to measure the quality of their practice, the care that they provide, is in line with international standards. So doctors do a lot of audits, but nurses also do audits as well. And for us maybe coming from outside the UK, audits might not be something that we are used to or we might know a lot about. So what Balosega has done is we've created a course on audits, and it's available for all health professionals, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, because they are the ones that usually do audits and they will need to do audits in the UK. Just imagine that you are before the interview panel and they look at your CV and you could say you've done an audit course. They'll be very impressed. And more so if you are able to do an audit yourself, even before you go for the interview. So if we are interested, for anyone who is interested in learning more or wants to enroll in the audit course, I'm going to put a link to a WhatsApp group for audits. So once you get to that WhatsApp group, just ask questions. You'll be given directions on how to enroll for the course. And just to let you know that it's not just for interviews alone. As long as you're a clinician practicing and you plan to practice in the UK, you will have to do audits year after year. Many people never receive any formal training of it, except they schooled in the UK, maybe as nursing students or medical students. So in the NHS, everybody kind of assumes that you know what audit is and you can perform it. So I'll post that link in the chat for us to join. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Victoria. God bless you there. Going back to the questions, we have a few questions for David. Let me see where I stopped. I missed the recap. I missed presentation. I missed the earlier presentation. Oh yeah, so I know missed the earlier. No worries. We'll have the recorded version posted to Balosega YouTube channel very soon. Just keep an eye on that. We will also send you a link on what to see and how to see the Balosega stuff on YouTube. Larry Litty says in some website the employer asks for work permits. How can one get a work permit? Over to you, David.
Okay, work permit is part of the package of sponsorship. So I wonder why maybe they assume you are in the UK, because it's when you come to the UK you get your work permit, the BRP. Okay, so that gives you the legal state to do whatever you want to do in the UK. So I don't think any employer, an international nurse asking you for work permit it really sounds odd to me. Okay, so when you get your job, your COS and other things, you come to the UK, you get your BRP, and then that is what guarantees you and makes you stay here peacefully. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David. The next question, let me see the next question. Okay, not any other one again. Yeah, so Victoria has posted a link for the audit. It's a WhatsApp group. So if you just go into the link and put register there, be a part of that WhatsApp platform, you will see a lot of ample information, which will be very, very helpful. No knowledge is lost. We are learning, we're gaining, we're advancing, and that's what we're meant to do. So that's what we're doing here as well. If you have, going to round up soon, because there don't seem to be questions, coming in. But if you have any questions, if you remember any questions after the program has finished, you might like, I just remember this one. That's not a problem. Just send us your questions to balosega balusega@yahoo.com. I've said it before, balusega@yahoo.com. Put the topic on the subject, your question, and then, in brackets, nurses in UK presentation or something, so that we'll know where we, met and everything. So please just remember that it's balusega@yahoo.com. Again, you can follow us and get more information on our Instagram at Balusega. You can get to our YouTube channel where you see videos. You can get on our Twitter handle. You can everything. We have loads of presence on social media platforms, and we'll be more than happy to deliver more information, qualitative information. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Balusega. You will see loads and loads of videos, which will be very, 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 very important to us all. So again, we want to thank you all. We want to thank David for that wonderful, as somebody says, scintillating presentation, very professional. I didn't know nurses could present that way. You are so wonderful. I think BB should hire you someday soon to do a presentation for Africans in diaspora. Just remember that you give me 1% at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm just joking. So thank you all for coming. This is not the last we'll have this kind of gathering. I'm very sure we'll have more time to have ample time. So like I said, there's question and answer by the Sega end of the month. And next month, there is Medical Legal, the first ever program we're going to have in that aspect, which will be wonderful. And everyone will definitely gain. I want to thank you all. And till we meet again, take care of yourselves. And happy new month, happy new quarter. And God bless you all. Thank you very much. And bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.